This is Financially Fit Business with Ruth King.
Welcome to the Financially Fit Business Podcast. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to the health of your business or your clients' businesses. I'm your host, Ruth King. Here's how we will help you increase the financial fitness of your businesses today. Audit is a precise and critical component of many CPA firms. What if you could truly use agents to help with the audit and other processes? My guest today, Steven Figner, CPA, President and CEO of Decision Point Advisors and Alethia Technologies, works with organizations that need confidence in their systems, transactions, controls, and data, especially as technology environments become more complex and harder to audit using traditional approaches. Steven's work sits at the intersection of assurance, AI, and blockchain technologies, with a particular focus on how emerging technologies can improve trust, transparency, auditability, and confidence in business information. We'll talk about how to use agents and other AI tools today to help you. Steven, welcome to the Financially Fit Business Podcast.
Thank you, Ruth. Happy to be here.
Yeah, my pleasure to have you. You've done a lot of really interesting things, and you've got something brand new, right?
We do, and I'm very excited about sharing that with you.
Okay, but share it. Tell the world.
Sure. As a CPA, and I've been in the business for some time, one of the passions I've always had is that somehow we should be able to do what in the old days we used to call continuous controls monitoring. And going way back to the early 2000s, I worked for a software company that was trying to develop exactly what we're doing today. But the technology just hadn't caught up to the idea. And we had things like OCR, but it wasn't really good at reading unstructured data. And so, truly being able to test and validate controls in an automated fashion, the technology wasn't there to support it. And what's so exciting, especially in the last few months, is with all of the improvements around AI and the models and agents, we've really been able to grasp that in a very short period of time, start building the tool that I've always wanted to see in place. And so Alethia has built a testing tool that using a couple of agents where we can actually use one scaled down model as a worker and another one as a judge, and then also have a human in the loop to review the final output. But it's significantly reducing the amount of time that we needs to take to do testing in a very specific area to start. But we're looking to expand to the every business process that we are involved in auditing.
Yeah, and audit is very particular. I mean, everybody's putting their name and they're stamping their name and basically saying, we agree with these numbers and we have to make sure that these numbers are right.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's getting harder to do with, disparate systems within organizations. Often procurement is a tie into your ERP or your accounting application, or even your sales system, reporting information in. And so getting accuracy and completeness of data is really the challenge in today's environment.
Yeah. And so Alethia, sorry about that, basically decreases some of the time necessary to do that, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And so just the very specific narrow use case that we're doing, and we're doing this as the proof of concept so that we can roll it out, is that one of the things that my professional services firm does, Decision Point Advisors, is that we look at, we take the service organization control reports that say QuickBooks or even AWS or Azure or other companies need to provide to their clients, and we need to identify what are the internal controls or specific to IT general controls that are relevant for a financial statement audit. And so reviewing the SOC report takes time. mapping them up to, the standard frameworks that are in place takes time. And now we're able to use our AI agents to do it well, right now we're down to 20 minutes and we're excited about getting it down even further. But it does the initial review, and then it gives the human in the loop, if you will, our team, the ability to go back in and validate and confirm that the mapping is correct, and with the accuracy with which it's doing it at this rate is also drastically reducing the time, because it's getting very good at it. And so, review time is being drastically reduced.
Yeah. And I think you told me that it learns all the time, continuous learning, whatever it's called.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So with every review that we do, we when we are completed the review, if there's anything that we didn't agree with, it automatically gets fed back into the model that we're using to do the mapping, and in it, and so it learns on every single engagement.
Which is really important because it will make it faster and faster at some point in time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is it was interesting because if we look at what's going on right now, a lot of the processes and procedures and the things that you're doing too are taking away a lot of the grunt work. And I mean, there's a lot of grunt work in audit. Come on, let's be real here.
Yeah, absolutely. And
And it,
that solves a very real problem, if I can digress, Ruth,
sure.
is one of our big problems is retention. People, we get a new team member in, we train them up, and they need to become knowledgeable. But I mean, once they understand the process, they don't want to do that work anymore. It is very tedious and boring, and it's not challenging to a professional to do, at the very, very basic level, as we're calling it, grunt work. So, being able to empower them to be able to, to be the ones, as opposed to doing the mapping, and now using the experience that they have to be the critical thinking component and being able to do the review, is a much more rewarding experience for them.
And they're more likely to stay at that point too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so if we, and let me continue on that track a little bit. A lot of what's been said is that we're not going to need beginning, quote unquote, people coming out of school and just getting all the information, because they were traditionally doing the grunt work. And now we have them actually using some of their critical thinking skills that they learn, which makes them feel better and makes you feel better. And then everybody wins.
Absolutely. And the team's thoroughly enjoying going through this process. I'm
Yeah, I'll
excited.
bet. So before we take a break, if somebody's really interested in using Alethia, how do they do that, or contacting you?
Yeah, they can contact us through Decision Point Advisors, and I'm Steven at decisionpointadvisors.ca, and we can talk about how we can support you.
Cool. We'll be right back. Thanks for listening to the Financially Fit Business Podcast.
Financial advisory services are the key to the longevity of the accounting profession. If you want to get started providing advisory services, or want a review of a finance course you took in college, Ruth King's manual, Understanding Financial Trends Analysis, might be your first step. This manual gives you the information you need to help your clients with their financial statements. A great start or addition to your financial advisory practice. You help them with clarity on their business's financial health, the ability to spot impending issues and resolve them before they become a major crisis. Less stress and sleepless nights worrying about the financial part of their business. Your Financial Statement Trends Analysis Manual is the reference guide. What do you want in your financial advisory services practice? Click on the link below for more information and to order.
We're back. Thanks for listening to the Financially Fit Business Podcast. I'm speaking with Steven Figner, CPA, who is the president and CEO of Decision Point Advisors and Alethia Technologies. And Steven, when we were talking at the break, we have to bring up one really, really important point about stock and not violating terms and conditions. So why don't we go through that?
Sure. An important thing that I wanted to get out there was that these SOP reports that companies provide do have restricted use on them, and so they are private and confidential information, and that's really important. So in building our model, we had to take that into account. So none of our information can go up onto a cloud service or onto a model. The models that we have are local to us; they are our own models. The data never leaves our organization. And the way that we're firewalled right now is that nobody can really access our models and get to that information. So it's really important to us to protect the privacy and the confidentiality of that information. And the exciting part of it is again, with the most recent advancements in AI, is allowed us to take scaled down versions of models that are in the marketplace and run them locally. And so, as an example, our worker is running on a version of Quen, which is only a 35 billion parameter model, so very scaled down. And then our supervisor is a GPT OSS 120 billion parameter model, which again is very scaled down. But this all runs on, on a NVIDIA DGX Spark that is, like I said, is protected and is not accessible to the outside world at this point.
And that's critical because nobody's going to want to do this without that.
Absolutely. As we know in audit, outside of just not just the SOC reports, but other, financial data and information is often sensitive or private, and at least until it's released publicly. And so that, we're very attuned to making sure that we address privacy and confidentiality.
Which means that you have to have really good security in place.
Absolutely. Yes.
So we don't have to worry about that particular point. All right. So let's take this further. Let's say that somebody is really interested in using Alethia and they call you on the phone and say, okay, I want to use this for my audit for company X. All right. How do they get started?
Well, that's the great part, is that if, once the models are up and running, we provide the base and the model and for the business process that you're looking to work with. And basically through a browser interface, you could access the tool and be able to run and ingest your own data for your team, and we would provide, again, coming back to the privacy, provide a local model for you to run, and so that and again, keeping it very scaled down, so that you can so that your team can easily access it, and it's really straightforward because you just upload them. It's as simple as usually an Excel or a CSV load in, and it does the analysis for you, and then through the UI interface, you're able to review the results that come out and validate that it got it right.
Cool. And save a lot of time in the process and get rid of a lot of the grunt work.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. So we're interested in doing this. How is there a limit in the number of audits that we can do, or is it infinite?
Um, it's really infinite, because once you have the tool, it really becomes about and you've trained it on a specific process. You can use it as many times, and actually, it's more the better, because the more audits that you're doing is and the more after the review process, once you continue to train it, it's going to become more and more efficient and weed out false positives or even false negatives, and continue to get better and become even more efficient for you, saving you more time.
Yeah, that's the key. And also, here's where the ethics come in. Do you charge them less? That's not part of this discussion. I'm just saying that, if we can save them time and we can save them that type of thing, do the price of audits go down? And that's just an interesting question for the audience. We're not answering that question, but it is something that your clients are going to ask you. And Steven, have you seen that question being asked or not?
Not yet, but I mean, Ruth, you and I both, come from the community of Abundance 360, and we believe in the 60s of emerging technologies, but of that is demonetization and also democratization. And so, what I'm passionate about is being able to provide a tool that is going to be able to be distributed widely, and that the costs are going to come down for people, so that that they can continue to trust their data and the tools that they're using, so that they too can kind of innovate at scale.
Well, final thoughts.
Yeah, I guess I would just say, we need better ways to trust systems, data, and technology. And, as it becomes more powerful, it's going to be important that we evolve with it. And really, our journey, and especially with Alethia, is about building that next generation of trust, one that is more automated and also more scalable than the traditional approaches.
Well, give us how to contact you again one more time, please.
I can be reached at Steven at dpadvisors.ca.
Sounds great. Steven, thanks so much for being with us today.
I thank you for having me, Ruth. It's been a pleasure.
And thanks to all of you for joining us. Choose one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a business owner improve the health of his company. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-8000 or email rking@financiallyfit.business. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.